Thank you. A group of state Republicans is suing Democratic leaders over COVID-19 policies at the Washington legislature.
According to the Seattle Times, the lawsuit targets 5 people, 4 Democrats and the House chief clerk, who recently approved a policy that required state representatives show proof of vaccination in order to be on the House floor. The lawsuit argues that the policy unlawfully limits access to House facilities. And joining us now is Republican State Representative Jim Walsh. He's part of this lawsuit. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon to help us better understand this. So let's just get started with the first question. This suit claims that the 2022 House operations rules discriminate against the decision to not be vaccinated, limiting access again to parts of the State House and also the ability to meet with constituents at the Capitol. What do you say to fellow lawmakers or even constituents who say, why not just follow the rules? Why not just get the vaccine?
Well, the constitutional rights that every Washingtonian has trump rules, and state law trumps rules. So these rules are really an agreement that we had hoped was going to get to a better place that treats all legislators, all lawmakers in Olympia equally and fairly. And this current proposal does not. What we are looking for is equal treatment and equal access for all legislators and for their constituents, for whom the legislators speak. Nobody likes to have to sue over these things. Nobody likes to go to court. But in some cases, it's the only form of communication that some of our colleagues understand.
In some parts of Washington, you can't even dine in a restaurant without showing proof of vaccination. Why would the House floor be any less? Some people might have those questions. What message do you have for people who might think this lawsuit is without merit or think this is just a stunt for media attention?
Well, both of those statements are terribly wrong. This is a principled action based on every Washingtonian's constitutional right to medical privacy and to control of what they put in their bodies. This is not a matter really of the pros or cons of a COVID shot. This is about constitutional rights. And now those constitutional rights are being trammeled by these rules and edicts and mandates, which are of a much lower standard in the eyes of the law than constitutional rights. We've got to get our ship turned the right direction again, our ship of state. We've got to realize that Constitution is the highest form of public policy, and your constitutional rights are more important than an edict or a rule made in haste by a handful of people.
Representative, we have time for just one more question. The next session, it begins January 10th. So if you don't get the injunction that you're seeking to prevent the COVID-19 House rules from being implemented, what happens next here? How do you continue to be able to serve your constituents?
Well, we'll serve our constituents. The question is, do we serve them as effectively and as passionately as we can? There's no substitute when we're looking at bills and budgets and all public policy for floor debate. We're supposed to have, according to our state constitution, vigorous and passionate debate on the floor of the legislature. That's how we make good law. That's how we avoid the 2 years of one-person rule that has plagued the state. So we're determined, it's much bigger than COVID shots. We're determined to return the legislature to its proper place where vigorous debate and exchange of ideas, the arena of ideas, can be engaged with fully. And that's good for everybody.
We'll continue to monitor how this all turns out. State Representative Jim Walsh, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Great to talk to you guys.